Alright, we are finishing off Jason Byrne's run on Hulk with Hulk 319, the wedding of David Banner and Jennifer Connelly, or maybe Liv Tyler. Quite a good cover. I didn't think so at first, but it's okay, isn't it? We have the wedding, and it has been interrupted by the Shadow, the Green Shadow, the Spectre of Hulk. This is the final issue on the title by Jason Byrne. Al Milburn takes over writing and penciling next issue, although there is one Jason Byrne story left. We'll talk about that soon. I had read this issue before, so I knew it had this horrendous technique. We have two stories. We have a story with Doc Shanna and the Hulk Busters, and then we have David Banner and the wedding. Two unrelated stories. Although, I will say, the technique is at least better justified here than the other time Jason Byrne did it. Basically, we have a Hulk story and we have a David Banner story told simultaneously. On this page, the top half is Hulk and the bottom half is Banner. Jason Byrne did this before. He debuted this awful practice in an issue of Fantastic Force. And likewise, there it was two unrelated stories running at the same time. I feel if you're doing this, the right way to do it would be with two heavily connected stories, with each part interacting with the other, and maybe even changing your perception of the other. The way he does them, it's not a good read. You have a minute part of one story, and then one of another, and you jump back and forth too often, and it makes both stories awful because it is a momentum killer every few panels to leave that story and go to the other. There was an issue of Marky Mark G's Captain America 354 that also told two stories with the same practice. The way I imagine anyone else reads these, is you go through reading one part and then go back and read the other half. The best thing ever is there was a trade paperback, Satan, Speak of the Devil. Personally, I know someone who prefers shouting at the devil. But that one, it was a collection of stories with Satan. And they had that Fantastic Force issue, but they had re-edited it. They only had the half with Satan, and they had put it all together. That was much better. I hate a comic like this, but a little bit of praise is that Jason Byrne, he improved it slightly. Now, we don't chop the stories up as much. We reverse the order each page. So here we have Banner at top, Hulk at bottom, and then Hulk is top, Banner is bottom. It sounds like a pair of homosexuals in a relationship, doesn't it? And we rinse and repeat that sequence. It means our scenes get a little bit extra space to build. It makes it feel a tiny bit more like cutting back and forth between two scenes rather than chopping up two plots. It's not perfect. You're still better off following one strand and then doubling back and reading the other. There is no overlap between the two. But here we have Dickie Jones, David Banner's friend. He has shown up for the wedding. He is making his return to Incredible Hulk after his time in Ron's Spaceman. He had been a supporting character over in that for the last few years. The pairing of these two threads is asinine. On one hand, we have David Banner's wedding, which is very important. This is a major character development. This is huge for the character. And then we have Hulk fight the Hulkbusters and Doc Shanna, which is inconsequential. It is doing a disservice to the other part of the story to take away from it and ram this Hulk plot alongside it. Especially since most of this run has already been Doc Shanna fighting Hulk. It's a fucking horrible way to present a comic too. I've already said so, but I'll repeat it to my dying day. This is horrendous storytelling. Nobody wants to jump back and forth at random like this. Something I want to talk about is the wedding. You'll notice there's virtually nothing worth discussing in our other strands. First thing to say is that we've rushed into the wedding a bit. The couple were not together when Jason Byrne took over 6 issues ago. I think I know why Jason Byrne did this though. It was less so about their relationship and more about the Silver Age love interest in general. The majority of the others had moved on. They had been killed off. They had married someone else. They had been killed off. They had married someone else. They had been killed off. Even Jennifer Connelly, or Liv Tyler, had married someone else. What I think we have here is more about marrying a classic Silver Age couple than it was about marrying David Banner and Jennifer Connelly or Liv Tyler. And what happens is their wedding is interrupted by Harrison Ford. He is Liv Tyler's dad, but not Jennifer Connelly's dad. He has a gun, and he has a long-hated Hulk and David Banner, and he doesn't approve of this marriage. And much like Dickie Jones, he had been absent from the series for a few years. The last time we saw him was the Suicide Assistant Editor's Month issue. Harrison Ford holds them at gunpoint and won't let them get married. And then he shoots Dickie Jones, who tries to intervene. Meanwhile, Doc Shanna fights Hulk. And we have to take a moment to chuckle at the naive optimism on display here. The best bit is Liv Tyler really chews out her dad. And I don't mean like she performs oral sex on his airy anus. I mean, she eviscerates him, telling him how evil he is and how he has only ever ruined her life. Something I've not mentioned yet, I don't think so. It's not too prevalent in the Jason Byrne run. Well, this issue it definitely is. The 90s Hulk animated series adapts this into an episode. A lot of that series was based on this period. More so the Al Milburn and early David Peter issues, but there's plenty of bits from Jason Byrne's run in there too. If it weren't for the way he decided to present this issue, the wedding part is solid quality. I wish we got rid of Hulk entirely and gave those halves of the pages to expanding on the wedding section. I mean, it's an excuse to have some cameos. Bring in Jim Wilson. bring in Fred Sloan, the Teen Brigade, maybe even some of the founding Avengers, some of the Defenders. Instead, Jennifer Connelly, or Liv Tyler, her maid of honour, is the woman from the Hulkbusters that she only ever had a conversation with last issue. Her wedding gown is ugly too. Dickie Jones, he was shot, but he will be fine. 'Twas only a flesh wound. He stubbornly insists on them finishing the ceremony before getting him any medical attention. And so David Banner and Jennifer Connelly / Liv Tyler, they are married. I wonder what their wedding song was. Could it be Everything's Gone Green by New Order? Maybe something by Green Day. You Are the Everything by R.E.M. from the album Green. They will actually technically stay together. They are still married. They spend a long time apart, but they are still legally married by the end of David Peters' run. Annoying issue because Jason Byrne went out of his way to make it as unreadable as he could. Across his 6 issues, he managed to be all over the place with the standards. His art was a bit more consistent, but even that had occasional slip-ups, like when Hulk had long arms in one. I cannot recommend this issue, but if someone wants to chop it up and put it in a more pleasing order, do so. I think you could do this. We have, well, you would open with the banner off. Just keep going with the banner bits. And then here we have a neat scene cut. We end the banner scene and we cut to the wedding. But you could go back and start the Hulk strand there, which runs uninterrupted until the end of it, where you jump back to Banner and the wedding. Actually, we've got another scene cut in the Banner bits here too. You could put it there. That's one possible solution. The other is to just do what everyone else has been doing, which is read one off of it and then the other. Another idea, another way to handle it is maybe just don't bother reading it. I'll give it a 7 thumbs up, but the top half of the page says 7 thumbs, and then the bottom half cuts away to something else entirely. And you've got to read through that before you get back to the up part of 7 thumbs up.